Hey James, enjoyed your video. You brought up some very good points, and I just wanted to add my 2 cents. Um, the benefits of talking about synchronicity are um, twofold, I think. First, there's the power of suggestion. Lots of times people say that all this spiritual stuff it's all self-suggestion, and you just convince yourself it's true. And my immediate response is always, well, so I mean, if that's what it's about, you have to be confident in these higher planes of reality for them to exist. Just like you need faith to experience God or love. You can't doubt and have access to those things. Um, so talking about synchronicity helps us build this 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 certain level of confidence in the phenomena that we're experiencing, because when you give names to something, all of a sudden it becomes more real. So the more you talk about it, the more concrete it becomes. And it could always be the opposite too, that the more you talk about it, it becomes more and more abstract. But we sort of need to stay aware of that, I think, and not become too scientific, maybe, or maybe just not too conceptual. We don't want to get too far away from our actual experience and start trying to define a bunch of words, um, rather than just let the words be experienced. Um, but describing and cataloging these experiences is exercising. And you said something like that in your video, but I don't think you worded it exactly this way. That as we describe these things and talk about them with each other, we're actually exercising our connection. We're exercising our soul, um, by just continually manifesting these connections. But then you also mentioned that we don't want to get stuck in this idea that we have to make these things happen, because then it becomes egotistical, and it's as if we could control subtle energy, and obviously we can't control subtle energy. We can't control it. We have to surrender to it. We have to be devoted to the soul, to the spirit. And that means we can no longer take ourselves seriously, or at least as seriously as we take the higher planes of connection. Um, you said we shouldn't premeditate anything, and I agree. And that's really the conflict of that I've been experiencing using YouTube. Um, because when you record a video, yeah, you're talking and communicating with others, but you can also frame yourself however you want, and you can cut and paste and edit. And so the finished product of what you actually upload, what people actually see and hear, is sort of well, it's a premeditation. It's a mediated version of yourself. And I do some videos that are edited, and I clip out the pauses and the ums, and just for a more dramatic effect. But when I want to actually have a conversation, I try not to do that, because it sort of lowers the genuineness of the interaction, I think. It's no longer two people talking, it's two actors. And, to a certain extent, it might be important to realize that the role of the ego or the persona is to act. That's what it does, that's what it should do. And when we integrate it, we identify with the soul, with the spirit. We don't try to kill the ego when we do that. We just see through it. We use it, and we aren't used by it. And I think the best use of the ego is acting, which just means um, articulating your ideas, your emotions, and your feelings in a human way, in a way that others recognize. So you have to be capable of putting on a face that connects with others, and that's the ego's job. The ego is what is connected to the body, even though we say the ego is separate to the body. The ego is what sort of the closest layer of will to the body, and we use our ego to act in the world with other egos and to get around in our current position in the evolution of time and space. You know, right now we're all a bunch of human beings living on planet Earth. We won't always be that, but right now we are. And human beings have egos, and we shouldn't try to run from that. We just can't be obsessed by it. So yeah, that's it. Let's keep up these conversations. I like where it's going. Take it easy.